So yeah, and you can be however you're comfortable. So the legs could be bent or straight, arms could be sprawled out or close the end of the body. Just take a second to land. Yeah. And as you begin to settle into your position, imagine that your body were like a hollow vessel and someone is pouring water into you, filling yourself up. And let it be kind of a slow pour, and just imagine here that watery kind of weightedness coming down into the back of the body. And then as it continues to pour, it's not going to get completely full. So there'll be a little space at the top so that every time you breathe, the water gets moved a little bit. Every time you breathe, let there be just kind of a little wave moving through. And then in a very, very tiny way at first, let yourself be rocked a little bit from side to side, right, left, kind of rock. If anybody has the legs straight, go ahead and let the knees bend so the feet are on the floor. And continue this rock side to side. And as you're doing it, let the water just be kind of moved along as your body's moving. Still feeling that weighted sense at the back of the body, or the lowest point. And then from here, let the movement become just a little bit more, and let the feet lift up off the floor. And you could either let the legs just dangle, or you could hold onto the legs with your arms. And now let the rock, it'll be a little bit more now that the legs are up. Yeah, but still let it be really gentle, just as if the water is kind of moving you along, and it might feel good to turn the head the same direction as the legs, or you might prefer turning the head the opposite direction of the legs. So whatever, you can try both and see what you like. But again and again, we'll come back to this idea of just the water kind of pooling through giving into gravity. So whatever is the lowest point, that's where the water settles. Yeah. And then from here, let's let those side-to-side rocks start to become a little smaller, and we'll pause here with the hands on the legs. And just let the hands draw the legs in any kind of movement. That might be circles, they could go the same, they could go opposite. It's a little bit of easy movement here. Yeah. And then let's pause, keeping the right leg in. Put the left leg long on the floor. And then in a second, we'll take a twist, bringing the leg over to the left. But let that happen because the water is just kind of moving over that direction. Yeah. So now that we're on the side, the lowest point of the body, that's in a different place. Imagine the water just kind of pooling down here. And you could be completely still, or you could add in a tiny little movement, or maybe just feel the movement that's happening in the breath. Yeah. And then from here, friends, let's come back up to the center. We'll swap out the legs. So the left one comes in, the right leg goes down, and then let the water transition you over to the second side, coming into this twist. And wherever is the lowest point, closest to the floor, that's where the water tends to pool. You could be still, or you could add in some movement, like conscious movement with the body, or maybe just feel subtle movement that happens with the breath. And then from here, friends, let the water pool back into your back as you return there, both knees in again. Take one last time this little rock. And when you're ready to transition, we'll take your time here. Let's actually roll all the way over onto one side. Let the water kind of pool down there. And then you'll press into the floor and reset to come into a hands and knees position. Yeah? Take your time to get there. And now in this position, we have a new base. So the water's moving down the arms, into the hands, down the legs, into the shins and the feet. And just give yourself a little bit of movement here. That might be a side to side, it might be a forward back. And let that kind of swish wave happen as your body is moving. It's shifting the water around. And then we'll pause here, just right in the center. Let's press back into child's pose. Feel free to widen the knees if you like, and keep the arms forward. Press the hands down into the floor and try to drag the hands towards your knees. As you come forward and up, the back will be in a little bit of an arched position, and then you'll press into the floor, round through the spine, and go back to child's pose. So we're making a circle. Bend the elbows a little bit, try to drag the hands to the knees as we come forward and up. And then press down, around, and shift it back. And take this a few more times, noticing how the wave, the water is moving as you're taking the motion. Yeah. All right, and the next time we pause back in child's pose, let's stay there. Flip your hands over so the palms face up and just curl the fingers in and out a couple of times, maybe bending at the wrists. Yeah. And then from here, let's reset. Put the hands back down. Return to your all fours position. Let's stretch the right leg back with the toes tucked under. And here too, give yourself a little forward back movement. And imagine that you're just filled with water and the wave is happening as you're taking the movement. Yeah. And then let's pause here. Turn the right heel down to the floor. The water pours now into the left side as the right arm lifts up. Stay here, circle out the right hand a couple of times. And then we'll take the arm overhead, just towards the front of the mat. Keep going until the hand comes down, the knee comes down. And then we'll change to second side. So left leg comes back. Give yourself a little push-pull back and forth, letting the water be moved, that little ocean wave. And then we'll pause here. The heel comes to the floor. The water pours down the right side of the body as the left side lifts. Yeah, stay like that. Add in some wrist circles, some movement in the fingers. That's it. And then let's let the arm come overhead and continue until the hand comes down, the knee comes down. Let's go back to child's pose, but have the toes tucked under for this rendition. Yeah. Stay there and scooch the knees back a little bit. Give the mat a slight push down with the hands and a slight push forward if that feels okay. And maybe add in a little bit of a side to side one more time here. And then when you're ready to get out of this, let's let the movement settle. Come up a little bit. We'll lift the knees up off the floor. The water is pouring down into the hands, down the legs, into the feet. And here we are in downward dog. It's likely to be a little tight here. So let's slowly bend one knee and straighten the other, and then change. And do this nice and slow. And the leg that's going straighter, imagine the water just pouring down that side. And then we'll gradually step the feet a little bit wider, maybe not quite as wide as the mat, but almost. And then from here, bend both knees. Start to walk the hands back towards the feet. And just prop yourself up for a second with the forearms on the thighs. And you might need to move the hands again. We've been on the hands for a little bit. So in this position here, let's keep the feet this wide apart. So just a little wider than you normally would stand. Come into a forward fold for a second and just see how that feels. Take a slight bend in both knees. Create a little tone through the belly. Let's come up with the hands, both hands on the right thigh. Give the leg a little squeeze and use your hands to pour down the leg. So from the hip down to the heel. Just on the right side, couple passes through. That's it. Next time at the top of the leg, let's pause. Reset so the hands are to the hips. Tone through the belly, press into the heels, hinge your way up to center, just coming to stand. And let's close your eyes for a second, relax the arms. And notice after what we just did, if the right side feels any different than the left. Now for me, it always feels a little further back. Sometimes it feels a little more rooted. So you better do the left side with the eyes open, slight bend in the knees, hands to the top of the leg. Just a little squeeze, little pour down. And start again at the top to the bottom. A couple times more on this left side. Yeah. Now this time we'll actually do our recheck at the bottom. So next time you get to the bottom, pause there and see if your forward fold feels any different from doing the little pour down. Yeah. To get up, let's bend the knees. Hands to the hips, tone through the belly, hinge your way up to center. That. And then let's release the arms. Go to the back of the mat. You're probably already there. And just reset yourself so the feet are right underneath the hips. And find again the pour down just in your imagination. This time it's starting at the head, going down the arms, down the torso, down the legs. Yeah, pulling into the feet. Let's keep the idea of that sort of gravitational pull down with the feet. As you inhale, lift the arms up. And on the exhale, down we come forward fold. You can bend the knees as much as you like. Let's take a halfway lift. Lower yourself down and let's walk the hands forward until you get into plank pose. Now, option if you're not planking today, you could put the knees on the floor or the elbows on the floor or just come to the all fours position. Can you broaden the collarbones? Can you pour down the arms, pour down the legs, and whatever's on the floor, press down to stay buoyant through the rest of the body. Yeah, nice job. Let's put the knees to the floor. Come all the way down to the belly. Take a second to get there. Lengthen the legs back and down. Let's take the arms back alongside you with the backs of the hands to the floor. If you need to wiggle out the hands a little bit, take a second. Now in a moment, we will lift the chest and the upper body. And as that's happening, some part of the body gets a little more rooted, a little more weighted as the chest comes up. Yeah, it's not going to come up far. Lower yourself down. Let's do that again. So the collarbones widen as you come up. If you want to also lift the arms, you can. Down we come. Part of you goes down as you come up again. Maybe this time also lift the legs. And down. Let's take that a few more times. Just notice the way the water moves as you lift and lower the limbs. Yes, yogis. Next time you come down, let's turn your face to one side. Just relax down there. Maybe give yourself a little wobble from side to side. Yeah. And then let the movement settle down. Let's reset the hands just under the shoulders. Press up and back. We'll meet in downward facing dog. And take a second once you're in position. Little bend in the knees. Pour down from the hips all the way into the torso, the arms, the hands. Push the hands forward as the hips move back. Yeah, and now pour down through the legs. Maybe the legs go a little straighter. Maybe they don't. Here we are in downward facing dog. Yeah, nice job. Can you turn your biceps forward a little bit? And then to get out of this, friends, let's walk the feet forward, coming to the top of the mat. You can bend the knees as much as you like. Press down, pour through the legs. Inhale all the way up. We come, arms lift, legs lengthen. And exhale, the arms come down. Yeah. Let's pause, just kind of relax in your mountain pose and find that imaginary pour down. Imagine you had your hands on the legs again and just from the top down to the bottom. Yeah. I'm going to add a little bit of breath and movement here. So from your inhale, pour down through the legs, lift up through the arms. As you exhale, hands come to prayer, knees bend, and the hips shift back. We're in the chair pose, but not too low. So inhale, pour down through the legs, lift up through the arms. Exhale, we're back down. Let's do 2 more times. Inhale, it's an up. And exhale, it's a down. Last one, we'll stay in the down position. Have the feet a little apart. I think all of you have that. That's it. Stay here, breathe in. On the exhale, go this direction. I'll mirror you. Left elbow sticks right in between the knees. So it's a twist, but it's not too deep of a twist. Press the top hand down on the bottom hand and draw the heart forward. Yeah, you guys. On the next inhale, we come to center. Keep the knees bent. Exhale, the right elbow goes in between the knees. Press the top hand on the bottom hand, lengthen the rib cage forward. Yeah, you guys, nice work. Let's inhale to center and exhale into forward fold. Hands could be down. You could rest the forearms to thighs. Legs could be a little bent if you like. And if you want to add in some movement, maybe that feels good too. Yeah. All right, so let's pause here. Do bend the knees, pour down the legs to come all the way up to stand. Lift the arms, lengthen the legs. And then the arms come down just alongside you. Gorgeous. So for our next little part here, you might want to have blocks under your hands. We'll be doing some lunges. So just up to you if you like that. And then from your standing position, let's find again. Let's do this, a real pour down. So one hand on each side. Slight bend in the knees, and from top to bottom, let's pour down. Do that 2 more times. And then on the third one here, let's reset hands to shins. Take a halfway lift, move the chest forward, and then come down and bring the right leg back, hands on something, on the floor or on the blocks. Pause here for a second. That's it. Yeah, scooch the blocks just an inch back. Yeah. And then everybody, can you move the chest forward and the pelvis back, lengthening out the upper body? Excellent work. Let's inhale. And then as you exhale, go straighter in the front leg. And as you inhale, rebend and come forward. So do this a few times. It's the front leg that's bending and straightening, but find that imaginary pour down going through the back leg. And then we're going to pause with the front knee bent. Stay there. Turn the back heel down to the floor. Imaginary pour down through both legs. And then let's take the arms up and we'll end up in this position, warrior 2 pose. Yeah? Turn the palms up. Pour down through the legs. As you inhale, straighten the front leg and lift the arms. Exhale, we'll rebend and the arms go wide. So every time you come up, pour down through the legs. And every time you come down, the arms stretch wide. Let's do that one more time up. And then one more time wide. We're going to change the pattern. Now, when we do this next one, the front knee will want to turn in. Don't let it. Keep the inner knee reaching forward. Let's shift forward. Front palm turns up. Inhale, straighten the front leg and lift. And then the exhale, the forearm comes on the thigh, the other arm comes overhead. Let's do a few more of these. So the inhale, it's an up. And the exhale, it's down. Can you pour down through both legs as you're taking the movement? Yes, yogis. Let's go one more time up. This time when we come down, arms windmill to the floor or to your blocks. Turn the back heel up and we're back in this position again. Now in this position, let's start with the front leg, just imagination. Pour down from the hip to the foot. And then on the back leg, pour down from the hip to the foot. Legs are solid. Can you move the chest forward? Press a little more into the left heel, tone through the belly. And then if you like, maybe just float the arms straight back. Yes, collarbones broad and open, gorgeous. And then down we come with the arms. Just a brief twist here, turn open to the left, lifting the arm. Yeah. And then when you're done, the arm comes down. If you're on the blocks, let's move the blocks out of the way. Go plank to the belly. Plank to the belly. You could do knees down first if you like. Don't belly flop, but any other way to get there is fine. All right, let's fold up the hands here, rest the forehead. Scooch the legs back and down one at a time. And then from here, notice some part of you is going down as the legs drop back and up. They're not going to go up too high. And then down we come. Do that a few times, just the legs at first. Excellent. And then this next time we'll stay in the up position. Slide the hands a wee bit forward and the elbows in just slightly. Press down into the floor, pour down into the arms, and try to drag the arms towards your chest as the chest comes forward. So come on. Yeah, exactly. So we want to feel engagement through the upper back and pour down whatever is meeting the floor. So the forearms, the front of the pelvis. Go ahead, lower yourself down. Bend the knees, feet up towards the ceiling, and just let the legs take a little swish, a little back and forth. Yeah, nice job. All right, guys, let's put the legs back down. Take your time to head back into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. And we're going to do the same little pattern again. So stay here, little bend in the knees. From the pelvis down the torso, down the arms. Pour down and push forward with the hands, lengthening out through the spine. Yes. And then from here, pour down the legs. Let the legs start to go straighter. The heels will likely not touch the floor, but can you reach them towards the floor? When you're ready to get out of this, let's come forward, feet to the top of the mat. From your position, take a halfway lift. And let's do 3 pour downs with the hands. Down we come, little bend in the knees the whole time. And then from top to bottom we go. Yeah. Root down through the legs. Inhale all the way up and stand. And then the arms come back down. Okay. I'm hoping you feel a little grounded after all of this. We've got a second side to go. If your blocks wandered, you might have to reset. Let's pour down through the legs as you lift up through the arms. That'll be an inhale. Exhale down, we come forward, fold. Take just a halfway lift. And then as you come down, let's bring the left leg back, setting up our second side lunge. Have the hands in line with the front foot right underneath the shoulders. Stay in your position here and just take a couple rounds to bend and straighten the front leg. If you want to add breath, that'll be inhale forward and exhale back. Pay attention to the back leg and find that pour down happening through the back leg, even though the heel is lifted. All right, next time the front knee bends, let's pause there. Lengthen the chest forward. Turn the back heel down to the floor. Take your time to come up to warrior 2, and if you need to make a little adjustment, absolutely fine. For me, it's usually a pants adjustment. Once you're in position here, palms turn up. Pour down through the legs as we inhale and lift. And then exhale, we come back down. Gorgeous. Take that a few more times. Yeah. Heather, can you take a little more space between, like step the front foot a little forward or the back foot a little back? Yeah, that looks great. Excellent, yogi. Let's pause the next time the arms are wide in warrior 2. Have a little peek at the front knee and just tell it not to turn in as we take the next transition. Let's shift forward. Palm turns up straight in the front leg and lift. And then knee bend, forearm on the thigh, left arm comes over, side angle pose. A couple more of these. Pour down every time you lift up. Excellent work. Feel like you're moving through water, you're filled up with water. You're in watery practice. Now this next time we come up, when we come down, we'll come all the way down. Hands to the floor or to your blocks, back heel turns up. Take a second just to settle. Pelvis back, chest forward. Pour down through both legs. Press into the front leg heel, and without changing anything else, just let the arms float back. Excellent work. Collarbones are broad. Fingertips are pulling to the back of the mat. Let's come down with the arms here. I'm going to lower my left block as I lift the right arm up for the twist. Yeah, whatever is going down, let it pour down as the right arm just floats up. Gorgeous. To get out, let's look down to the floor, release the arm. Back to plank pose. We're going to stay for a second. Yeah, any version is fine always. Broaden the collarbones. Pour into the arms, pour into the legs, and see if you can find a little lightness through the torso. You guys look great. Your planks are super solid. Let's put the knees down first, come all the way down to the belly, and then just a little wrist stretch here. Take the arms back alongside you. Palms face the ceiling. Curl the fingers in and bend at the wrists so the backs of the hands peel off the floor. Yeah, just hold that for a second, kind of a little fist. And then when you're ready, lift the chest, lift the arms, spread the fingers wide, give them a little wiggle. Let's come back down, we'll make the fist, peel the backs of the hands off the floor, hold. Don't hold the breath, just hold the position. And then on the next inhale, we come up, lengthen the fingers, give them a little wiggle. And then down we come, make a little fist, peel the backs of the hands off the floor, hold the hand position. On the next inhale, up we come again, wiggle out the fingers, yeah. And then come down, just turn your head to one side, rest, give your hips a little wiggle, a little back and forth. And then from here, we'll reset. Hands right underneath the shoulders. Let's press back into downward facing dog. Take a second just to get there, yeah. And then we'll come forward, feet to the hands. Root down through the legs, imaginary pour down as you inhale all the way up. We come, lengthen, lengthen. And then the arms release. Oh, yeah. Good. All right. Yeah, let's stay here. Remember how it felt when, you're getting poured down from the crown of the head all the way down. Find that again. Just letting the water kind of pull down into the legs. Take a very slight bend in the knees. And as you start to circle around, little hula hoop here, let it almost create like a little whirlpool. Feel the gravity of the water down into your feet. And let's go the other direction with the movement. Awesome. And then from here, friends, we'll let the movement settle. I'll mirror you. We'll take a little bit of some balance work here. So the left leg will pour down, the right leg floats up, and then let's take the arm out to the side, the leg out to the side. Continue to pour down through your base. And then we come back to the center, change arms, keep the leg up, turn the chest to the other side, and the right arm can go open. Yeah, back to center we come. Release the leg, you're good, you're good. And then pour down the right leg as the left leg lifts. Same thing again. We open the leg, open the arm. Back to center. Change the arm. Now we turn the chest as we open the left side. Back to center. Undo. As the leg comes down, go straight into side two. Pour down through the left, lift up through the right. Let's open to the side. Come back to center, find the twist, keep pouring down the standing leg the whole time. Yeah, and then we come back to center, we'll switch straight away. So as the leg comes down, pour down through the leg, the other one lifts. Open, close, we twist, back to center. And as you release the legs, both legs pour down. Just find that again. Just let yourself settle. Yeah. All right. Now, in a moment, we will take a few other positions. Some of them will get into the non-traditional way. So before we do it, let's come to the front of the mat and we'll add in some stretch for the quads and for the calves. So from the front of the mat, pour down through the legs. Inhale up with the arm. Exhale, we take it down forward, full knees can bend. Let's take it halfway, lift. And then go to plank, we won't stay, but make it a good one. So once you get there, pour down the arms and the hands and the feet. And then lower yourself all the way to the belly. Yes. Nice transition, guys. Let's lengthen the legs back and down. Just create a little space. You can either prop up on the left arm or rest the head on the left arm, or somewhere in between is fine. Right knee will bend and we'll just reach for the foot or the ankle. Yeah. Now in this position, a few things to keep in mind. Can you First, pour down through the front of the right leg. At the same time, can you draw back through the knee, and at the same time, draw forward through the navel, but keep that weighted, rooted feeling in the front of the leg. Yeah. Awesome job. We're going to release that side, change it out. So as we bend the left knee, find the foot, pour down through the front of the leg, keeping that weighted idea. Draw back through the knee, forward through the navel, but don't do so much that the leg just kind of pops up. Yeah, so keep that weighted feeling going on. Anybody else tighter on the left? Yeah, me too, always. All right, friends, let's release. Take a little wobble, just a little wiggle side to side. Let the water swish around. And then we'll meet back in our downward facing dog. Take your time to get there. Let's do the same little thing that we've been doing. So a little bend in the knees. From the hips, down the torso, down the arms into the hands. Pour down and press forward. And keep that as you pour down through the legs will go straighter. Yeah. Nice job. Turn the biceps forward, the triceps back. And let's meet, you know what, let's stay here actually. Step the right foot about an inch forward, not far. Try to press the right heel down, go straighter in the right leg. Pour down through the right leg as the left knee bends. And I'm hoping you get a nice juicy calf stretch on the right side. If you want more of that, you can take a little weight shift right and left in the pelvis and let the water just kind of swish down and pour down into the right heel. Yeah. And then we'll pause, reset, right foot steps back, left a little forward. Try to pour down the left leg as the heel sinks downward. The right knee can bend. And give yourself a small little shift, right and left, back and forward, as the water pours down the left. Yeah. And then from here, let's reset, just normal downward dog. You choose if the feet are coming forward or the hands are coming back. Forward fold. Bend the knees a little. Pour down through the legs. Use that to rise all the way up we come. And then we'll put the arms down. Just a little wrist stretch before the next bit. Interlace your fingers and keep the knuckles facing outward. And then give one wrist a push forward and the other one a pull back. Oh, yeah. And then switch to the other side. Let's do that one more time. Look at what thumb you have on top. And then we're going to trade. Reset so the other thumb is on top the weird way. And then go again with a slow motion, push and pull. This is you could do this one anytime, at the car, at your desk, just a quick little wrist stretch, yeah. All right, and then undo the hands, give them a little wiggle. And we'll set up for the next sequence here. I'll recommend blocks at the front. We'll do Warrior One into Parsvottanasana into triangle, but the non-traditional triangle. So hands to the hips. Take the right leg back with the heel down on the floor and have enough width right to left that you feel solid. Yeah. Step, yeah, do it one more time. Yeah, that looks good. All right, so with the hands to the hips, from the right hip, pour down the leg into the heel. At the same time, can you lift up through the belly? Yeah. Let's lift up through the arms. This will be inhale. On the exhale, bend the front knee, bend the elbows, and hinge the chest a little forward. Do this a few more times. So the inhale, we come up, pour down through the legs, especially the back. Exhale, we bend and hinge. Take it one more time. Now from the bent, hinged position, pause there. Take the hands down to the floor or to your blocks. Any height is fine. And as the front heel pushes down and forward, let the legs start to go straighter and draw the chest forward. Yeah, good. If you need to go higher on the blocks in order to have more movement in the spine, go ahead and do. Just for now, let's inhale. On the exhale, lift up through the belly and let yourself drape more over the leg if that's appropriate. Every inhale, you'll lengthen a little. You'll come slightly out of the fold. And every exhale, you'll lift the belly and maybe go a little deeper into the fold. Yeah? So as we're here, the water's pouring down the legs. Now from here, let's come back into that kind of halfway position. So reset the hands. If you need to go a little higher, you can. Can you move the pelvis back and the chest forward? Left hand will stay. Right hand comes to the right hip. Leave the pelvis alone, but start to turn the chest to the right. So it's triangle, but it's a little different than the normal triangle. If you want to lift the right arm, you can. If that throws you off, just keep the hand to the hip. Can you pour down through the legs, and can you actively press down through the left hand, whether it's on a block or whatever it's on? Yeah. And then to get out, let's take the right hand back down. Rebend the front knee. Take both arms back, pour down through the legs, and on the inhale, we come up, straighten the legs, lifting the arms. That's it. Bend the front knee, take the arms down and back, just kind of this diagonal, and we'll use that to step forward. Awesome. Okay, all of that on side two. So hands to the hips, left leg comes back with the heel to the floor. Take as much width as you need right to left to feel solid, even if it feels a little short, that's fine. From the back hip down to the heel, pour down through the leg. Yes, gorgeous. Take the arms up, inhale. Exhale, we bend the front knee, cactus, the arms hinge. And do this a few more times. So the inhale, it's a lift. The exhale, it's a bend and a hinge. Gorgeous. Yeah. Let's do one more time. Stay in the hinged position. And then reset. Hands come down to the blocks. Press the front heel down and forward. As the pelvis draws back, the chest draws forward. So we try to stay in this flat back for a second. Yeah. Inhale to lengthen. And then on the exhale, lift up through the belly. Possibly start to fold more over the leg. Possibly not. And every inhale, you somewhat come out to find more length. And on every exhale, maybe you somewhat come a little deeper. Yeah? A couple more breaths, just like that. Letting the breath create a little bit of a wave through the body. You're still pouring down through both legs. And then let's pause here. Return to the more the flat back. If you need to go a little higher in the hands, you can. Pelvis draws back, chest draws forward. Left hand comes to the hip. Leave the pelvis where it is as the chest turns to the left. Yeah, so it's a little bit of a twist. And if you want to lift the arm, you can. Pour down through the legs. Press down through the standing hand. Yeah. And then take your hand a teensy bit, the top hand teensy bit more towards the wall in front of you. No, not the bottom hand, the top hand. Yeah. And then can you take the front of the shoulder and plug it back? Yeah, that's good. And I'll show that again in the standing in a second. Let's take the hand down, rebend the front knee, take the arms back, and then on the inhale up we come, straighten the legs. Let's bend the front knee a little bit, hinge the chest forward, take the arms back just as a transition, and then step forward, and just up we come to stand. Yeah, move around a little bit. I guess I just want to explain something that I said that sometimes it's weird when you're in the pose. Yeah, so in this position, sometimes the top hand has a tendency to kind of fold back. And what I'd like to see is the hand actually come a little forward and the front of the shoulder draw back. So we're going to practice that in a different position, and then we'll come back into triangle and see how it goes. So let's stand just wherever you are. Yeah, nice, easy hip distance between the feet. And then you'll take the arms out in front of you that have a teensy bend in the elbows. And as you open the arms wide, don't go beyond the space. You want to be able to see your fingers in your peripheral. And if you have to wiggle them a little, that's fine. But don't go so far back that the front of the shoulder comes forward. Yeah. And then let's take the arms forward again. Go one more time. Stay here. And now pretend the palms of the hands had something in front that you could press into. And as the hand presses forward like a seesaw, think about the front of the shoulder drawing back. Yeah, oh, it's very exciting, isn't it?
That's good for those of us who said it in depth.
Yeah, you guys look great. Yeah, well, let's just hold for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
All right, really shake out the arms. All right, cool. So So let's try the same idea in triangle, and we'll get into it the same way. Let's start on the first side. So right leg steps back, left leg is forward, kind of that warrior one stance. And then hinge yourself forward and down. Right hand will stay on the hip, left hand comes onto something. Let the right arm actually come down. Create some tone through the belly, lengthen the torso, and now let the torso and the arm together go open, but try to maintain the same shape that you did standing. Yeah, and let's go 2 more times. So down, and then open. Yeah. Last time down. Last time open, stay here. Pretend there is a wall that your hand, the palm of the hand could press into, and the front of the shoulder draws back. Yeah. Great. Down comes the arm, then the front knee. Let's just step forward just to get out. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, the arms down. How did that feel? Awesome. Let's do the second side. The left leg steps back, kind of warrior one-ish, and then we come forward and down, landing hands. Take a second. Let's, whatever the right hand, wherever it is fine. Let the left arm just dangle. Lengthen the torso, tone the belly. Let the torso and the arm open together. Open to the left. That's it. And then, yeah, that's it. This is not the normal way to do triangles, so that might be a little weird. Do a couple more. That's it. And then on this last one, we'll stay in the open position. Pretend the palm of the hand could press into something as the front of the shoulder draws back, aligning with the collarbone. Oh, yeah. And then to get out, put the hand down, little bend in the front knee, step forward. Root down through the legs, inhale, rise. And exhale, the arms down. Those look so good. So we're going to do one more time of this one. Just stand, arms in front, and then slowly take the arms open, and we'll just hold the position. Pretend the palms could press into something forward. At the same time, take the front of the shoulder back to align with the collarbone. Feel some work going on through the front of the body, but also in the back, in the shoulder blades. Yeah. Now, one more thing. Pretend your arm starts right at the sternum, and from there out to the fingertips. Can you grow longer? Ah, good. Release. Ah, shake it out. Nice job. Your arms just grew like an extra inch.
Everybody has to do that.
Yeah, no, it's a good thing to do. It's a good thing to do. Let's take the feet kind of medium wide. Take another hula hoop and let it create again that little whirlpool. Yeah. Great, other direction. Yeah, we've done full classes on that before. They're like annoyed, like, okay, come on, we can do something else.
It's good for us.
It's good, yeah. All right, friends, let the movement settle down. And let's come down to sit on the floor. And we'll take the legs out wide. And you might want to shift. Sometimes the heels on the wood floor feels too hard. If you want to turn sideways, you can. And if you need to sit on something, sometimes we sit like this and the pelvis rolls back. So if you need to sit on a blanket to create a little height, you can. Yeah, let's actually everybody do this. Put the hands behind you. Press down just a smidge. Lift the pelvis. Try to scooch it back and then down. Stand up a little more upright. Yeah. And then keep the hands back here. Press down through the hands as you sit up tall. Now we're lifting up through the chest. Can you pour down through the legs, especially right around the top of the thighs? Good. Not an easy pose, is it? We're not even going to go forward. We're just going to sit upright. Yeah. Okay. And now I probably messed you up rights to lefts, so let's do this. Pick a side. You'll bend the knee. Bring it in so it resembles Janu Shirshasana, but it's not quite that yet. Put the hands where you just did. Press down to lift up. And now your pelvis, it had train tracks, and you're going to walk the arms in the direction of the train tracks. And for many of us, that's not very far. Yeah, this is meant to be an inner thigh stretch on the straight leg. And let's keep the back straight. Good question. Yeah, so do this. Press down into the floor without moving your hands. Try to drag the hands towards your groin as you move the chest forward. Oh, yeah. Good. Now, for many of us, this straight leg wants to roll out or in. Try to be right in the middle, right on the center. That's it. Okay, walk the arms back in again. Turn towards the bent knee. So we take a twist. Whatever hand is the forward one, take that hand onto the leg, onto the bent knee. Take the back hand, press it down into the floor. Use that to lift. And then now the back hand lifts straight up towards the ceiling. You can stay right here. Or if you wanted to do a side bend, go in the direction of the straight leg. Yeah. Kind of a variation of Parivrita Janushirshasana. You don't need to know the name of it. So bring yourself back up. Undo the arms. Now you're fairly wide between your legs. Take the bent knee and just pull it in slightly. And now we're going to turn towards the straight leg. Yeah? Put the hands down beside you. Press down to lift up. You choose here. You could stay up, or you could push the hands back to hinge forward. Let's start with the flat back position, and then if it feels all right from there to continue onward and downward, great. But if you start to kind of, sometimes the pelvis actually rolls back and we're here. If that's happening, just try to be more upright instead. Yeah, good. Now let the water pour down through the back of the straight leg. Find the gravitational connection here. Reconnect with your breath. And let there be that little wave that happens every time you breathe. Okay, then start to walk the hands back up to the center. Take a little detour before the second side. So let's undo the bent leg. Take them both out in front and just give them a little asana. Yeah. Okay. Now, hopefully you remembered what side you did. Let's go wide again. And then take the new side. You'll bend the knee and bring it in. And you're wider than you are in a normal Janushirshasana. Yeah, that's great. Hands go down behind. Press down to lift up. Reach out through the straight leg heel. And then start to come forward without rounding in your back and without rotating the straight leg. That might just, for me, it's not very far. From your position here, let the hands press down and try to drag the fingers back towards your groin as the heart moves forward. Oh, this side's way tighter for me. Anybody else? I have to back out a little, it's too much. Okay. Keep the legs. Bring yourself upright. Take a twist towards the bent knee. Just keep your hands down for a second. Whatever hand is the forward one, take that hand onto the knee. Press the back hand into the floor, sit up tall. And then we'll take that same arm, reach it up. You could stay right here, or you could start to come over into a side bend. Yeah, it might be a very different situation on this side. For me, actually, on this side, it's better if I don't do the side bend, so I'm going to stay right here. And Mary, you too, I should have said this on the first side. You probably figured it out. But one side might be a go and the other's a no-go. All right, bring yourself upright. Let's now take the bent knee and bring it in slightly. So it's not quite as wide. Now you'll turn towards the straight leg. Hands go beside you, press down to lift up. Pour down through the back of the leg and try to push the floor back as you hinge forward. So we'll start with the flat back. And then if it feels all right to take the arms forward and let yourself now start to fold over the leg, that might be an option. If you're sticking with the flat back position, you can join me. I'm going to do that one myself. Yeah. So every inhale is a little lengthen. Every exhale, that little lift through the belly, riding the wave of your breath. and you're ready to get out of this, to start to crawl yourself back up. Let's undo the legs, just bring them out in front and give them another little asana. That's the real name of that pose. All right, you guys, let's reset. Come down onto your back. We'll have the knees bent and feet on the floor. Take a second to reorient here. So we're on the back again, and let the water pour down now through the back body. And let's take the hands on the front of the thighs. Yeah, take a breath in. On the exhale, press straight ahead, hands into the legs. And on the inhale, just back off of the pressure. Let's do that a few more times. So the exhale is a press. And inhale, we back it off. Last one. And then we'll back it off. Stay here. Let's take the right foot over the left thigh so that it's kind of ankle to knee, but keep the left leg down on the floor. And then remember that idea, the water just at the bottom. Let it create a little side to side, like a little right, left. As the water just takes that kind of shift back and forth. And now every time you go left, you might go a little further. Don't go too far to the right. Yeah. And then the next time we go left, we'll actually stay over there. And for some of you, the foot will meet the floor. For some of you, it won't go that far. Wherever you are is okay. Yeah. I'll just pause here for a second. It's kind of a twisted figure four. Let the water pour down and pool into whatever's closest to the earth. If you want more stretch in the right hip, you can slide the left knee a little bit more towards your head. If that's not an option, don't worry about it. And then listen here, to get out of this, just pick up the right foot, unhook it, and put it back down as the left leg comes up. So we're back in our starting position. Now the right one will the left one will cross over. Stay here and then just start with that small little side to side, letting the water swish back and forth. And every time you go to the right, it might feel okay to take a little bit more movement. If that doesn't feel so good, just keep it small. And then the next time you go to the right, if it feels good to go either all the way to the floor or just wherever is a good stopping place, so pause there. Let the water cool down into whatever is closest to the earth. If you want to add on, you can slide the right knee more towards your head, letting the left foot be pulled along. If that's not a great idea, just stay where you are. Okay, to get out, let's unhook the left foot, put it on the floor, and let yourself just be forward back to center. Let's take the hands to the tops of the thighs again and just press straight ahead. Then we'll take a little round of heel rocks before Shavasana. So let the legs go, let them go long on the floor. And then it's kind of a new center of gravity here. Pour down wherever is closest to the floor. Pay attention to your feet and let's roll so the legs are naturally turned out. Roll so that they're in neutral, so it'll feel like they're rolling in. And now the backs of the heels will press into the floor and you'll do a little point flex in the feet. So your whole body ends up kind of jiggling a little bit. Yeah, either go a little quicker with the foot movement and let the heels catch the floor so the whole body ends up getting a little bit, like you're bouncing on a trampoline, kind of. Yeah, and let the water just be almost like shaken a little bit. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And now, very gradually, we'll let the movement start to become smaller and smaller and smaller until there's no more movement in the feet, but you'll probably still feel a little bit of a swish happening. If you're shaking a water bottle and then you stop, there's still that little back and forth happening. And then from here, our final resting pose, Shavasana. If you do need to alter your shape in any way, go ahead and do that now. Once again, imagine that you were being poured into here and let the liquid settle at the bottom. Having this connection to gravity, connection to the earth. And you relax through the belly, the chest, and through your face. I'm going to turn out one of these lights. And every time you breathe, water just gets a little shifted. Start a very slow, very small transition out of this. Let yourself move the tiniest amount, little right, left shift. And let the water just be kind of swished as you do that. And those of you who have the legs long, let the knees bend. Maybe let the movement just become a little bit more. And it might feel good to let the head move with the legs. It might feel better to go opposite. And then if you'd like here to let the legs lift off the floor, maybe just let them dangle or maybe hold on and continue this swish, this little rock from side to side. Now, eventually here, you'll roll all the way over onto one side and you'll stay. Just imagine the water pouring down onto that side as you get there. And then the water will shift here as you press down to lift up. We'll meet back in a seated position. Any way you want to sit is fine. And then one more time from the top to the bottom, let yourself be poured into. Bringing that connection to gravity. Take hands to heart center. And thank your body here for everything that it's able to do. And thank yourself for showing up. Namaste.